So this video is for anybody that is involved in agriculture, more on the organic side, not working for ConAgra or whatever, but if you produce your own, say, organic milk or pasture-raised eggs or honey or any sort of product like that, how can you use token creation to make money? So the first and obvious one for me would be that you can use token creation just like a restaurant or a retail shop, where you reward your customers for following you on Facebook or purchasing something from you, whichever you'd like. Any sort of just normal, you did a task for me, therefore I send tokens to you and then you can redeem them. Pretty simple. So if they come to your farmer's market and they're like, hey, well, what do you have here? And then you can talk to them about your story. Say, if you like us on Facebook right now, or you give us a Twitter follow, we can give you a little bit of tokens that you can then exchange for goods that you can purchase at this farmer's market. So that's the very basic one, but more importantly, I think that you should be aware of there is another way, and it is to raise money. So ultimately, these tokens are a way of expressing your product. So you're not selling them the farm, but say a product from the farm. And there is one company called Apimellisfera, which is the Latin term for a honeybee, and I want to tell you about this company, and that they raised their funds they did a token sale before they built their beehives. And what happened was, if you purchase the tokens early, then you can redeem them for a stream of physical honey for the life of the hives and additional hives as they develop, because new queens are born. You take out the queen, stick her in a new hive with a few of her guards, and you have this increasing supply of honey. But obviously, before you have honey, you need a few things. You need land, you need the hives themselves, you need some queens to get started. So what they did is they raised this money. I'm not exactly sure how much, but they were able to get enough for like 200 hives or so, and then anyone that bought tokens gets a percentage of the physical honey from these hives. So, and obviously as time goes on, there's more and more honey, because then the queens, they build new hives. So some other cool things that they're doing is, with these tokens, you could either just buy the physical honey from them, and if you go on the exchange, buy these tokens, and then you can go to their website and then spend these tokens for physical honey. So another thing that which I think is kind of cool is that you're going to have access to a webcam where you get to see how your hive is doing and kind of build a personal relationship with your beehive. And then people are going to, if they want to, they can sponsor a hive, perhaps their own hive, with their own company, their family photo, whatever, so that anytime anyone's looking, they can use those tokens that they created to raise money. So the third thing you can do is you can use this to establish some sort of business account. So, for example, if you're just a small investor, you can buy a certain amount. I'll have enough honey for the rest of my life. However, say you had a honey store, you can invest much more, say 10 times as much or more, and then use the stream of honey to build your store. So, for example, if you were a natural food store and you wanted a supply of honey, but this company, you're like, I just want to make sure that I always have your honey available, you can sell it. So what the cool thing is as an investor, perhaps it's not the highest yield, but I'm this investor customer hybrid, right? So I not only want a return, but I also want to do something positive for the earth, right? So obviously we hear about so much of the honeybees dying off in the US because they're being farmed and trucked to almond farms, which aren't very productive, or they're very good for almonds, but they're not very good for the bees, because the bees don't get enough. They need that sort of they need a polyfloral environment so they can choose which flowers pollen they turn into honey, because it's better for their hive. So they can express that you're also doing something positive for the environment. So what does that mean for you? That means while you're building out your digital presence and building out your customer relationships and getting people on your email list, getting people to like you on Facebook, doing everything that you probably should be doing anyways, you can be compiling a list of those people that are your users and that you're in touch with, but also those superpower users. And then when you're ready to create a token to activate this sort of investor-customer hybrid relationship, you can build that scale you need for your company and be able to go beyond the farmer's market. Because honestly, I think most people can't afford to shop at a farmer's market, and it confuses some people. Why does it cost much more to go to a farmer's market when there should be fewer and fewer intermediaries? So ultimately, you can use token creation to build scale for your agricultural business and build it in an authentic way, and using this sort of investor-customer relationship hybrid that I'm going to be talking about more in future videos. So certainly use token creation. Ultimately, in conclusion, use token creation to reward your customers, but then when you're ready, you can use tokens to raise money from your customers so you can achieve that scale. So we'll go into greater depth in the future, and if you have questions, come to my website at thejamesgalvin.com or follow me at thejamesgalvin.